All right, let's go. We are diving deep into a Champions League match that had it all. Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund on October 22nd, 2024. And this wasn't just another match, you know. It was a rematch of last season's final, which Real Madrid won 2-0. And it took place at the legendary Santiago Bernabéu,
right,
Real Madrid's home turf.
Yeah.
Now, for our Turkish listeners, we had three, Turkish football royalty present.
A triple threat.
We had Arda Güler playing for Real Madrid, Nuri Şahin managing Dortmund,
Right.
and even legendary Arda Turan was watching from the stands.
Amazing.
So the atmosphere must have been absolutely electric.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. Dortmund, they actually took an early lead in this match.
They did.
I can only imagine how the crowd must felt. But Real Madrid, as they tend to do, they fought back for a win.
They did.
So we're about to unpack a story full of twists and turns and some absolutely stunning football.
It really is almost poetic, When you think about it, Real Madrid, a team that's synonymous with just dominance, finding themselves on the back foot. Against a Dortmund side that was playing with such a ferocious energy, it just highlights, on any given day, any team can rise to the occasion.
Absolutely, and Pierre. Okay, let's break down the starting lineups, especially for those of you who are eager to see where our Turkish stars fit in. So Real Madrid's lineup featured Courtois at goal, Carvajal, Rudiger, Alaba, and Nacho forming the defensive line. And in the midfield, the power trio of Valverde, Kroos, and Modric, with Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., and Mbappe leading the attack.
And Dortmund responded with Kobel in goal, shielded by Meunier, Sula, Hummels, and Benzabini. The midfield engine consisted of Özcan, Can, Malen, Brandt, and Bino Gittins, with Guirassy at the front, leading the attack. And right from kickoff, you can really just sense the weight of expectation, particularly with Arda Turan there. Yeah. It really added an extra layer of excitement for all the Turkish fans.
Absolutely. And now the first half, it played out like a dream for Dortmund fans. They came out with what's called a high-tempo style. So think constant pressure, aggressive attacking, and forcing Real Madrid into making mistakes. Now, for anyone new to the term, it basically means they were playing at a breakneck speed, always looking to push forward, and put Real Madrid on the defensive.
Right. And it worked like a charm. In the 30th minute, Daniel Malin capitalized on a brilliant pass from Serhou Guirassy and just swatted the ball home, just sending the Dortmund fans into a frenzy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just imagine the roar of the crowd as Dortmund drew first blood against the reigning champions.
It must have been incredible. And just when Real Madrid seemed to be reeling, Dortmund struck again. Just 4 minutes later, Jamie Bino Gittins doubled their lead with a fantastic strike and left Real Madrid with a mountain to climb. It was a complete turnaround from last season's final.
It was. Some sources even describe Real Madrid as being overwhelmed in that first half, specifically calling out their defensive difficulties. In dealing with Dortmund's relentless pressure, it really did look like Dortmund might pull off a historic upset.
Oh, for sure. But, as we all know, football is a game of two halves. And whatever magic happened in the Real Madrid locker room during halftime, well, it completely changed the game.
It's almost as if a switch flipped. The second half was a masterclass in resilience, reminding everyone why Real Madrid is such a formidable force.
Yeah, so we've got Dortmund 2 goals up, Real Madrid looking shaken, and the Santiago Bernabéu buzzing with nervous energy. The stage is set for a dramatic second half. But we'll have to pause here for now.
Don't worry. We'll be back soon to break down exactly how Real Madrid staged their epic comeback. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.
All right, welcome back. So when we left off, Dortmund were 2 goals up, Real Madrid were looking shaken, and the Santiago Bernabéu was just buzzing with nervous energy.
Yeah.
So the pressure was on for Real Madrid to mount a comeback, and let me tell you, they did not disappoint.
Oh, they did not. You could almost feel the shift in momentum the moment the second half kicked off, like Real Madrid came out with this renewed intensity. A fire in their eyes.
Yeah.
That was definitely missing in the first half.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it didn't take long for them to translate that intensity into results. In the 60th minute, Antonio Rudiger, the rock at the heart of Real Madrid's defense, he rose above everyone else to head home a powerful goal, cutting Dortmund's lead in half.
The Santiago Bernabéu just erupted. The goal just breathed life back into Real Madrid's hopes. And you can just sense the belief returning to the players.
Absolutely, Annie. Just when Dortmund were trying to regroup, bang! 2 minutes later, Vinicius Jr. found the back of the net, leveling the score at 2-2.
Wow.
The comeback was officially on.
It's moments like these that separate the good teams from the great. Real Madrid. Despite being down early, they never lost faith in their ability to turn things around. They weathered the storm and emerged stronger. really showcasing that mental fortitude. That's become their hallmark.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the tide had definitely turned. Dortmund, who were so dominant in the first half, now found themselves struggling to contain Real Madrid's relentless attacks, their high-tempo pressing game, which had worked so well earlier. It started to falter as fatigue set in.
Right. That's the thing about high-tempo styles. They demand just incredible fitness and concentration. It's really difficult to maintain that level of intensity for a full 90 minutes, especially against a team like Real Madrid that's so adept at controlling possession.
Yeah, and control possession they did. While the scoreline at halftime might have suggested otherwise, if you look at the match statistics, you'll see that Real Madrid actually had more possession and shots on target throughout the entire match.
Right.
And this tells us that even when they were trailing, they were constantly probing, looking for weaknesses in Dortmund's defense.
So possession is often seen as, a measure of control in football. By keeping the ball, you can kind of dictate the tempo of the game, force your opponents to chase, and create more opportunities to attack. So Real Madrid's ability to maintain possession, even under pressure, was crucial to their comeback.
Absolutely. So the momentum was with Real Madrid. The crowd was roaring, and Dortmund were on their heels. You could just sense that another goal was coming. And it was only a matter of time before Real Madrid took the lead.
And it did in the 83rd minute. Lucas Vázquez, after some brilliant interplay, from Real Madrid's midfield, found himself with space in the box and calmly slotted the ball past Kobel, sending Santiago Bernabéu into delirium.
3-2 Real Madrid. The comeback was complete, but they weren't done yet. Vinicius Jr., who had already scored a crucial equalizer, wasn't finished with his masterclass. He went on to score 2 more goals, one in the 86th minute and another in stoppage time, completing a spectacular hat-trick and sealing a 5-2 victory for Real Madrid.
It was a performance that showcased Vinicius Jr.'s immense talent. His pace, his dribbling skills, and clinical finishing were just too much for Dortmund to handle. He was just the driving force behind Real Madrid's attack, a constant threat that Dortmund simply couldn't contain.
He was unstoppable. And speaking of individual performances, let's not forget about Jude Bellingham. He was pulling the strings for Real Madrid in midfield all night, dictating the tempo, making key passes, and breaking up Dortmund's attacks. He's quickly becoming one of the most complete midfielders in the world.
Absolutely. He was everywhere on the pitch, contributing both offensively and defensively. His vision and passing range were instrumental in creating chances for Real Madrid, and his tireless work ethic really set the tone for their dominant second-half display.
Yeah, for sure. And on the Dortmund side, while it was ultimately a disappointing night, you have to give credit to Daniel Malin. He was a constant thorn in Real Madrid's side in that first half, scoring a goal and setting up another. He showed his quality and proved that he can be a real handful for any defense on his day.
He certainly made his presence felt. His pace and directness caused a lot of problems for Real Madrid, particularly early on, when Dortmund were pressing high and forcing errors. It's just a shame for Dortmund that they couldn't maintain that intensity for the entire match.
Yeah, it is a shame. Now, beyond the individual brilliance, this match also highlighted the tactical battle between 2 distinct styles of play. Dortmund's high-tempo pressing game, so effective in the first half, versus Real Madrid's more patient possession-based approach.
Right. It's a fascinating contrast that's playing out across the world of football right now. On one hand, you have teams like Dortmund embracing this high-energy, aggressive style, looking to win the ball back high up the pitch and create chaos for their opponents.
And on the other hand, you have teams like Real Madrid, prioritizing control patience and waiting for the right moments to strike. Both approaches have their merits, and it often comes down to which team can impose their style more effectively on the day.
Right, and in this case, it was Real Madrid who adapted and ultimately prevailed. Their experience, their composure, and their tactical flexibility allowed them to weather the early storm and seize control of the match in the second half.
Yeah, and this match wasn't just about tactics and individual performances. Remember, we had that incredible Turkish presence in the stadium with Arda Güler on the pitch for Real Madrid and Nuri Şahin managing Dortmund. What a moment for Turkish football.
Absolutely. To have 2 prominent Turkish figures involved in such a high-profile Champions League clash, it's a testament to the growing influence of Turkish football on the global stage.
Yeah, and for Turkish fans watching at home, seeing Arda Güler come on as a late substitute for Real Madrid must have been just a moment of pride.
It must have.
It's a sign that Turkish players are making their mark at the highest levels of the game.
It's a reminder that football transcends borders and has the power to unite people from different cultures and backgrounds. This match wasn't just a clash of titans. It was a celebration of the global appeal of the beautiful game.
All right, so We analyzed the goals. We've talked about the individual performances. We've looked at the tactical battle, and even the Turkish connection. But there's one more crucial aspect of this match that we need to discuss, and that's how different sources interpreted and framed this incredible encounter.
Right. Each source brings its own perspective, its own angle to the story. And it's really fascinating to see how a single match can be portrayed in so many different ways.
So get ready to dive into the world of narratives and interpretations, because that's where we're heading next. We'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive, where we'll unpack the various perspectives on this Real Madrid-Dortmund thriller. Welcome back to our deep dive of this incredible Real Madrid-Dortmund matchup. We've broken down the action, we've explored the tactics, we even highlighted the Turkish connection. But now, let's shift our focus to the narratives that emerged from this match, because you know how a story is told can be just as fascinating as the story itself.
Right. It's amazing how a single 90 minutes of football can be interpreted in so many ways. You know, some sources focused on the shock of Dortmund's early lead. They were painting a picture of Real Madrid, caught off guard, struggling to cope with Dortmund's intensity.
Right.
Others chose to highlight the brilliance of Real Madrid's comeback, praising their resilience, their never-say-die attitude, and their ability to just find another gear when it mattered most.
It's like choosing your own adventure, right?
Yeah.
You can focus on the underdog story, the tale of Dortmund's valiant but ultimately unsuccessful attempt to slay the Giants. Or you can revel in the classic Real Madrid narrative, the story of a team that simply refuses to lose, a team that always finds a way to win, even when the odds are stacked against them.
Right. One source even described Real Madrid's performance as a stunning comeback, emphasizing their tactical flexibility and their ability to adjust their game plan after a difficult first half. This narrative kind of paints Real Madrid as a team with a deep understanding of the game, a team that can adapt to different opponents in different situations, a team that can think on its feet and outsmart its rivals.
Yeah. And for Dortmund, one Turkish source used the phrase "soğuk duş," which I'm told translates to cold shower, to describe the feeling of their defeat. It's such a vivid image, capturing that sudden shift in momentum, the shock of going from a position of strength to a disappointing loss.
Yeah. It speaks to the emotional roller coaster that football fans experience. The highs of early success, followed by the crushing lows of a late collapse. It's a reminder that in football, just as in life, nothing is guaranteed, and fortune can change in an instant.
Absolutely. Some sources also drew parallels between this match and last season's Champions League final, pointing out Real Madrid's consistency in high-pressure situations. They highlighted Real Madrid's experience, their composure, and their ability to perform when the stakes are highest. It's almost as if these big occasions bring out the best in them, fueling their desire to win and reinforcing their status as a true European powerhouse.
Yeah. It adds another layer to the Real Madrid mystique, the aura of invincibility that surrounds them in these grand European nights. It's a testament to their winning mentality, their ability to rise to the occasion and deliver when it matters most.
Absolutely. And of course, we can't forget the added layer of intrigue for Turkish viewers. The presence of Arda Güler, Nuri Şahin, and Arda Turan transformed this European clash into a story that resonated deeply with Turkish football fans, a story of national pride and representation on the world stage.
Absolutely. It became a story about Turkish talent making its mark at the highest levels of the game, a source of inspiration for young, aspiring footballers across Turkey. Imagine the impact of seeing Arda Güler, even for a brief moment, sharing the pitch with some of the biggest names in football. It's a powerful image that speaks to the unifying power of sport.
Absolutely. So we've unpacked the goals, we've dissected the tactics, explored the narratives, and celebrated the Turkish connection. But as we wrap up our deep dive into this captivating Real Madrid-Dortmund encounter, let's take a moment to appreciate the bigger picture. What does this result mean for both teams as they continue their Champions League journey?
Oh, for Real Madrid, this 5-2 victory is a statement. It sends a message to their rivals that they are a force to be reckoned with, a team capable of overcoming adversity and emerging stronger. This win solidifies their position in the Champions League group, making them clear favorites to advance to the knockout stages, and keeps them firmly on track in their pursuit of another Champions League title.
It's a reminder that Real Madrid is a team built for these big moments, a team that thrives under pressure and seems to find an extra gear when the stakes are highest. They might stumble occasionally, but they rarely fall, and they always seem to find a way to get back on track.
And for Dortmund, while this defeat is a setback, it's not the end of their story. They showed glimpses of their potential in that first half, demonstrating the attacking flair and a high-tempo style That's become their trademark. If they can learn from their mistakes, maintain their intensity for longer periods, and find a way to balance their attacking prowess with defensive solidity, they still have the potential to make a deep run in this competition.
Absolutely. It's a learning experience, an opportunity to grow and evolve as a team. And in a tournament as competitive and unpredictable as the Champions League, every match is a chance to test yourself, to learn from your opponents, and to become a better team.
This is what makes football so captivating. It's a game of constant evolution, a battle of wits and wills, a clash of styles and personalities. And as we've seen in this match, it's a game where anything is possible, where underdogs can dream, where champions can be challenged, and where the final whistle is never the end of the story.
So as we say goodbye to this particular chapter in the Real Madrid-Dortmund rivalry, we're left with a sense of awe, a feeling of gratitude for having witnessed such a thrilling and dramatic encounter. And as we look ahead to the next chapter, we do so with a renewed sense of anticipation, knowing that the beautiful game will continue to surprise us, to challenge us, and to remind us why we fell in love with it in the first place.
And who knows? Maybe the next time these two teams meet, the roles will be reversed, the narratives will be rewritten, and the drama will unfold in a whole new way. That's the beauty of football, the endless possibilities, the constant potential for surprises, the knowledge that the story is never truly over until that final whistle blows.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the beautiful game.